Here's a question for you.
Yes, sir.
If it comes to it, who starts for England, Toney or Watkins?
Toney.
Go on, tell us.
I think he holds the ball up better. I think he's still got enough athleticism to cause problems running deep. I think his link-up play is excellent. I think Ollie, and it's going to sound negative, but I promise you it's not. He's having a fantastic season, but he's a winger trying to be a striker. And that's just who he is. He's very good at being a striker. But whenever Ivan steps up, when he took that penalty last night, did you think he was going to miss ever? I didn't.
That's a good point.
Goal. Whenever Ollie runs through 1v1 for Villa, I've done many a game this season, I'm still not convinced he's going to score. I think he will score eventually. If you give him 3-4 shots a game, he'll score. But I think Ivan just has that like borderline arrogance about him that makes me go, right, stick Ivan in. And last night I thought he was excellent personally. And like Simon said earlier, it meant a lot to him. And you could see that.
Should he take the two of them?
I think so. And I think... This is going to sound like a run and wind-up, but I'm really not. If Marcus doesn't step up much more,
Rashford,
I'd leave Rashford out, and I'd take Ollie, and because Ollie can play in that position anyway. That's where he came through at Brentford and started at Villa doing it. So I would, if Marcus Rashford doesn't step up, I would look at leaving Marcus at home and putting Ollie Watkins in there. I don't know if that's a wild take.
I agree. I mean, I literally have just written a column about that for the Mail tomorrow, and literally about that. Because I think the question is abounds. Maybe you'll turn into the famous Southgate misplaced loyalty, and that's why Rashford will get the gig ahead of other people. But in the question of Ollie Watkins, I'm an Ollie Watkins fan. I liked him at Brentford, and I think he's done really well at Villa. But I think Toney's a better player in the position that you want Toney to be in. I think Toney's a better player, and I would go Toney all day.
So the two of you go with that. If it comes to 2 from 3, Rashford stays here.
It would be, yeah, unless he has an unbelievable back end to the season. But then there's a little part of me that says, if that's all we have to do, then there's quite a few people who are going to be in contention, aren't they? If we've only got to look at these next 10 games and say that's what we're going to base the season on. I don't think... last season, Marcus was fantastic for Man United, but didn't really get much of a look in for England. I think now you're probably looking at it going, he's not been fantastic for Man United, so why does he get a look in for England?
Do you take Kobe Mainoo?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think our midfield is as strong as we like to believe, especially in that 8 position. He does a good job. He's energetic. He's youthful, but we have to be careful. He's a young man at the same time.
Yeah. And
I saw yesterday, and I normally watch the game, but I don't have the sound on. But then I saw at half-time, I think it was Joe Cole was...
You don't have the sound on?
No, because you hear what the commentator says, and then you start to believe what the commentator says. So I like to watch the game just of my own accord and try and watch it and figure it out myself. So then when I was... I saw it at half-time, I saw Joe Cole was talking about Mainoo, so I thought, let me put it on, because I didn't quite understand. And they were like, but look at his reaction when he gives the ball away. Now, there's 2 ways of looking at that. Well, it's a great reaction, fair play.
Well, don't give the
but
ball
you actually gave the ball away with no one around you. So we get into this weird place where we start trying to build up young players, as we should, but we give them praise. It's unnecessary. That's what he's in the team to do, rat around, get after the ball. But actually, at that level, keep the ball. Give the ball to your Foders, give the ball to Bellingham, and let them go and produce. And that's... I didn't see anything that said he shouldn't go, but I didn't see anything that was like he has to be a star, in my opinion.
So is Kobe on the plane?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Lee and Stourbridge, Simon, how is Toney better? The stats just don't add up. Watkins doesn't take penalties. Luis does. I mean...
So Aston Villa are a better side than Brentford, but on form at this moment in time. They're higher up the league, and they've got better players than Brentford, as a matter of course. Ivan Toney's been out for 9 months. I think Ivan Toney's goal-scoring record is pretty good, and I think his all-round play and the handful that he is to the opposition, not just what he does, it's what he allows other people to do as a result of his presence on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think Toney, in all of those boxes, ticks the box better than Ollie Watkins does.
It's brilliant as well, though, isn't it? Because everyone will throw a stat in. Yeah. Stats help when you want to make the argument for you. But actually what we're talking about is the intangibles of what we can see, the eye test. But now it's, his stats this season are better. Okay, well, let's look at the season before. Yeah. And if you want to go the season before when Ivan was in the Championship.
Well, statistics are the beginning of a conversation, not the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a message there. Even if Rashford doesn't step up, he should still go ahead of Watkins. On his day, he's a world beater. Watkins, on his day, is a decent striker.
Okay. Well, again, you can't argue with opinion. That's someone's opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a world beater.
Listen,
he's very good.
Toney come back from this ban smelling of roses. He can do no wrong. Both of you are putting him up there.
No.
In your eyes, he could end up being player of the tournament.
Ivan Toney came back with a debt to his football club, and I was appalled at the time by some of the ridiculous glad handing and backslapping by people like Sky and Brentford going welcome back or conquering hero. You got yourself banned and you brought your club into disrepute and you left your club in an invidious position. So let's stop the hero celebration. But I knew that when he came back, he would grasp the nettle and that he would continue where he did before, in the same way that Cantona and other players that have experienced adversity in their lives come back with the right attitude to prove a point. And of course, he's got a move on the cards.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in gear. And he's a good bloody player.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
You agree with everything he's saying here?
No, I do too. I know Ivan, so I've got to be careful not to portray confidences, but I know how much work he put in, and I know what he did in that time to work on himself. But like I said to him personally, listen, you got the best salesman in the world, because somehow you've got away and got better. That very rarely happens in life. But when go back to what the guy said there to yourself, when you're talking about Rashford, we always go, on his day he could. Marcus isn't 22 anymore. He's not. He's now meant to be. He's earning, again. I hate putting the money situation to, because people go, you earn this, you should deliver that, and I get it to a point. But he's Man United's top earner. He's not been Man United's best performer this year. He's not been the best performer for England of late. Yet we go, oh, but that one time we hit that really good goal against Man City, now he should be in because he can deliver that. Okay, but if we're going to work on that situation, then we'll just pick all the best statistical players we've got and never pick a team that's actually meant to function. Sure. If that's the case.
Sure, fair enough. We're going to head to the 11 o'clock bulletin. You are firing in all cylinders, Troy. Here's one. All I need is one word. Do England win the Euros?
They can.
That was 2, but we'll take it. It's 11.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.